and welcome back to welcome back to Coffee and Chaos. Hi, Trina.
Talofa.
We are already starting and laughing, so please forgive that introduction. Solomon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. How was your weekend? Good?
Yeah, the weekend was good. I did some Mother's Day stuff,
Nice. Today we're going on a little bit of a different angle, and we brought on two guys, Victor and Brian. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. We brought you guys on. You are, tell me the name of your nonprofit.
Oh, DreamDads. DreamDads, or, basically known out of Long Beach.
Long Beach, California.
Absolutely.
Solomon, right where you're at in Long Beach.
Yeah.
See, not a Pedro person.
Yeah.
We leave
Give it up
Pedro.
for the LBC, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And all dads worldwide, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, Hey, would be no dads without no mothers. So.
True that. And then we'll lightly touch on a little bit of things of what you got going on too, Victor.
Fantastic.
And it's basically, from what I could see, was a lot of basketball,
Right.
a lot of I like the one thing we spoke about before we started. You said your enemy is who?
Deadbeat dads. There's too many of them in the world, and that's the reason, we have to be here to combat that, that war. That's a battle. That's a battlefield in everyone's family probably. And, we're here to advocate for the real dads who really do it.
Why do you think it's become such a bigger problem? The two of you can?
That's you got mental health, mental crisis. You got economic crisis, economic health. You got development, personal development that's not there. You got behavioral, you got characteristics, and you got DNA issues. You can go any kind of angle you want. You know what I'm saying?
We can go down at all.
Yeah,
right.
It's like a drug. Drugs will take down a community, and mental health will too. So
mental health is really, really big. Yeah. I was telling you guys, my dad's schizophrenic, and I probably would have never known him, but his parents were amazing. And they made sure that we knew who our father was. And till this day, he's a huge part of our lives. So, yeah. And he's never going to have a normal, I guess. I don't know what normal would be because we have great conversations. It's just not the conversation people would think I would have at 51 with my dad. But, hey, he's still there. And he told me, by the way, that I need to stop eating. I went to go see him this weekend, which is a whole other thing. And he told me 3 different times, he's super thin, has a great metabolism. Stop eating. Stop eating. I was like, okay.
Don't eat and drink coffee.
The point taken. I'm fat. Stop eating.
Well, shout out to the coffee. No logo. They don't pay me.
But this was also on his.
We got drink sponsor.
On his third cup of coffee he had too. So remember I told you he had his third cup of coffee as he was telling me this. But anyway, so yeah. So I just wonder because I see it more and more with the dads that just choose. And I always say it's a choice for the most part.
Right.
And if you sincerely have mental illness, something like that, even a drug addiction, I feel like I'm a firm believer. Once you start drugs, people get mad at them and like they're no longer in control of themselves.
He's not the same person.
No, it's not. So, but there's people that don't have those excuses and they still choose not to be around.
And that's a good point that you make. I like to say I was having a conversation with, my pops earlier about damn near everybody crazy. Sometimes it's been on the decisions that you make when you wake up, and a lot of us make decisions not to make cuckoo decisions. And, we want to make positive decisions when we wake up. Go brush our teeth and, not wake up and, on the other side of not brushing our teeth. You did? So
you get the conscious decision to make every day what you're going to do.
Definitely. It's a process, but some people can't handle it. They got imbalance going in there. So thank God for common sense.
So tell us more about what is your goal on your nonprofit? What do you do with the kids? And then I want to touch on yours too, Victor, the Hoops After Dark, because that really touched me when you told me about that one right now.
Absolutely. It actually all correlates,
Yeah, because we both Hoops After Dark.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're both Hoops After
That's
Dark.
like, we all came through that.
Without a doubt, our guy, Leonard Adams, one of the godfathers of Long Beach City and probably a lot of other grandkids along the way has been super duper like a superhero for our city and combating the negative energy along the way with these young kids and young aggressive energy that they might display because it's nothing to do in the hood, when you graduate, if your education is not taking you to the next level. And Leonard has always been there from day one since I've been young about combating that and, find something tangible to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he started Midnight League and now it's Hoops After Dark. It's another reason and then this is another situation. DreamDads, Hoops After Dark, whoever you are out there, this is not for the money. We don't, we don't we don't do none of that. We literally do it for the people. We was doing it before all these particular programs. They just became programs to kind of advocate, to a more variety of people and make it more national. I don't need a name. I don't need a name behind anything. Call it DreamDads because really we need to make the dads aware of they need to be dads, and thank God that we have real dads along the way here. So Hoops After Dark to me is the same way like that,
For me, I'm not going to, I've used the expression, I say, no parent knows all the people that their kid knows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true.
It's not possible. So, with that being said, even they told me I can't see my kid, I'm going to know my kid.
Oh.
I don't care if I'm outside the school, sleeping in the car, right? You know what I mean? What are you talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so to me, I understand what they're saying, but I don't buy it because of the reality of that.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? I have one of my friends, his son goes, I can't send, I got to send this. I said, your son go to school at this college. I could Google your son and I could go to, and I could send your son 2 pair of sneakers to the track place. That ain't gonna do it. The mother or nobody.
You're saying,
What are you talking about?
You got to do what you got to do.
I'm just saying, what are you talking about? It's just that's what I'm saying. It doesn't, I'm mathematics. It just don't add up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
make it
no
make
excuse.
sense.
That make it make sense. That's like if it was a girl and somebody told you can't see this girl, yet you
You're
over there
going
at her
away.
job and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're resourceful.
Yeah.
But now you're not resourceful. Oh, baby mother said I can't see my kid.
Yeah.
So you can't go to that school over there and give and see he hang with this dude all day and give this dude a big bag and all this and say take that to my son. You can't do that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's not understand.
But they will,
to me,
they will,
it's
you're
not
right,
real
they'll
to me.
stalk
It's
a
lie.
girl, they'll hound a girl, they'll do whatever it is to get that girl.
You can do that, but
Yeah.
you can't make it.
Can't stop it.
I don't care if the court. Everybody told me I can't see my kid. Okay, thank you. Or can I go now? Okay, cool. Bye.
That's right.
Now my kid's at school. Hey, I'm dropping off a bag. He don't even got notes from me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's what I watched. It's ironic that this. I get a little misty of myself, but
Yeah.
So I always use movies for analogies, but Garfield's dad happens to be named as Vic. In the new Garfield, I watched this because I got little kids. I got a 3-year, so I know this.
How
In
old
the-
are they?
I have my son will be 3 on June 15th, and my daughter will be 1. Then my other son is 26 that just graduated.
Yeah.
But so I'm in the new life now, so I'm watching Garfield. Garfield's dad name is Vic. This is a true story. His name is Vic. So in the new Garfield movie, Vic comes back in Garfield's life. Garfield thought Vic had left him. Vic had been going to Garfield's house, watching him in the tree for like 15, 20 years. Garfield didn't believe it, goes up and look in the tree, and Vic's got all of these stripes from all of the time that he was.
Hey, that's dope.
Oh, now we got to watch Garfield.
I know, now we're going to go.
You gotta
now
watch
we're gonna
this.
go watch
Shout out
You
to
see what I'm
Vic.
saying? And his dad's name was Vic, and so then they Garfield had run into some other people in jail and said, "Oh yeah, Vic is that bad," and they said, "Yeah, man, that Vic messed up, man." Because they didn't know that Garfield was Vic's kid because they was in jail with Garfield. So Garfield, man, forget Vic, and they like, yeah, forget Vic, because man, we used to be doing stuff, and anytime we trying to do stuff, Vic talking about he gotta go see his kid.
Oh,
Telling Garfield.
Yeah.
But Garfield didn't believe that he had been coming to see him.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Garfield movie. This is perfect for y'all for the
Yeah.
thing.
Wow.
Come on now.
Okay,
Vic is
great
a real
analogy
dream
that you
guy.
just
You know what I
brought
mean?
over here. Do you think that's why you're so passionate? I mean, obviously you have a older son that just graduated from college, but then you have toddlers that are going to grow up in this crazy world. But do you think that's why you're so passionate about Hoops After Dark and DreamDads?
Yeah, because
Because of your life experiences.
well, my experience with them, like dude, this is ridiculous. The guy Leonard Adams, who runs Hoops After Dark, met me. I was walking down the street with my son that's 26. He was only 5.
How tall are you? Just so we can.
I'm 6'4".
And how tall are you, Ryan?
Probably 6'7".
Okay, just so it's not like you're just walking on the street and you're just a normal 5'9".
Oh, no.
man.
Right.
You-
We
yeah.
right on
So
the
let's
So he
clarify
stopped and
this.
told me,
Yeah.
and he told me about this program called the Roller Men.
Yep.
And they put me in the Roller Men program with Leonard, and then they put me in and then I got the basketball.
Leonard?
Leonard Adams.
Leonard Adams.
He's
I
the
gotta have
one
him
that-
on the podcast the next,
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
I would
okay.
love to
Yeah,
have
he
him.
put me in the Roller Men program. And so I was inspired, and then I started Hoop Shots, which is my company. After my education and stuff would happen here. But I was inspired by to start my company by there's this basketball player named Stephon Marbury. He's from New York. But
Is he a hooper or a baller?
he's a hooper.
Okay, he's a hooper. We
Yeah.
learned the
We're
difference
giving
of a
that
hooper.
We
Yeah,
wanna
Steph
be a
Marbury, you
Hoopers
got
and
Wanna be a
ballers.
hooper.
Steph
wanna be a
Steph
hooper.
Hooper.
There's a difference
Steph
between
Hooper.
hoopers
Okay.
and ballers.
So
Okay.
No.
Well, if we were playing basketball, we would be hoopers.
yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So me and Steph had did the campaign for N1. N1 basketball was doing a commercial, and we was on set that day.
Steph who?
Steph Marbury. met
Okay,
him.
okay.
What's
And
N1 basketball?
It's like tricky basketball
Oh, okay.
in the sneaker. It was years ago, and I was like, because I was a model. I used to model and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we're shooting a commercial, and we on set, and there's a guy there. He's about 36 or something. So then Steph said to me, "Well, what's the difference between you and him?" And I said, "Nothing, I guess, And but he was running shit.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And then after that, and I started my company based from that conversation with Steph Marbury.
Oh, okay.
amazing.
So it clicked. Like,
Yeah,
that was
and then
like
and that's how I became a producer in Hollywood
Oh,
and
okay.
in the casting director.
Okay, so what's the difference between you and him?
Well, I think what he was pointed out was the guy was a white guy and I was a black, but we was about the same age. I was a model in the commercial with Steph, but I was older because I moved to Cali when I was like 28.
And where are
So,
you from?
I'm from Jersey. Yeah. So we was doing a commercial and I was like 27, 28 years old, but I was older than Steph. And Steph felt like, I don't know why he said that to me, but maybe
Yeah.
he saw something in
He
me.
wanted to push you
Yeah.
a little bit to get
Yeah.
your stuff going?
Yeah, probably he wanted, and he did inspire me, and I created the company, which keeps me relevant to this day, which is Hoop Shots. That's my company.
Hoops After Dark though, what's your age range on that? Because I thought
Hoops After Dark. No, it's 18
Yeah.
to
24,
so, 18, like
28.
27, 18 to 27.
so you haven't given up on those kids, and
That's why it's
because a lot of
beautiful.
people do after like 18,
After
they're-
15,
they
you
they
know.
give up on them. They're
Yeah.
like they're done. They're just for the streets, like we're good, but you don't.
No, and I guess I was a sub teacher in New Jersey before I got into acting and stuff, and I was with the parole department because I had a major in criminal justice. So I come from more of a structured job, and then I became an actor, and I came out here. So I'm working with DreamDads and Hoops After Dark and those things, which were structured, gave me, I thirst for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For DreamDads, is there an age limit that you predominantly work with?
No, anybody can be a dad. A man born might be a dad one day.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? An old man still may be a dad, and if he was never a dad, he'd probably be an uncle or a big brother, or he can be a mentor
Mm-hmm.
to someone else in the neighborhood. It just never stops.
So if somebody comes to you with every excuse under the book that why they can't, like he was just saying, what do you tell them? Because
That's easy. No excuses, partner. No excuses. Ain't nothing you can do and nothing you can tell me but to say you can't take care of your kid in some way. Just like he said, if you got any sense, we talking about mental health. If you really want that, you're gonna get that. You know what I mean? You're gonna find a way to, add to your kid's world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You might not. The judge might have said, "No, you're not allowed around this kid," whatever. The mom, whatever. You might have gotten a situation. Sometimes you gotta be a little patient. But your conversation can't be F them and F them. I don't want to see nothing. You know what I mean? Me and my wife was talking not too long ago. We was talking about, you wonder how two people get together, right? And you get with your girl, and y'all excited and y'all happy. Y'all shit like, damn, yeah, right. and then y'all start effing, and then it's all good. And, y'all never even took care of a dog together. You know what I'm saying? Now you fucking around and had a kid.
Yeah.
Now you got to become not that explosive relationship who you was. You have to like really grow up. It's really going to test who you really were. Was this all?
Now you have responsibilities.
Oh, it's a cold game. It's a cold game. Y'all decide not to wear a condom and have protection, and got excited. You know what I'm saying? Now, all that, we talked about entrepreneurship, being halfway lying. It was part of that program and that process. And so you find out about each other and really who got the guts when you have a baby.
Yeah.
And then things happen.
Who chooses to stick around?
Oh, without a doubt.
And not that you're perfect, right? Like I tell my kid all the time, like I'm far from perfect, but he told me yesterday, he's like, "Happy Mother's Day," and he goes, "Thanks for sticking around."
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, for me, it's not a choice,
right?
But if you look at it, at the end of the day, we could all just walk away from, how many kids have been left with grandparents?
Yes.
And, there's amazing grandparents that raise these kids, and the parents just come and go as they want.
Yeah.
I call them drop-off artists.
And it's funny you mentioned grandparents.
There's a lot of drop-off artists. There's a lot of drop-off artists. They drop the kids off to anybody.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I'm horrible. Yeah, I call them drop-off artists. I see them. I always beat the kids, so I see drop-off.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trina.
How do you not, like, obviously you guys have a heart for, facilitating these nonprofit organizations and being part of something that is meaningful to all ages and all ethnicities. But how do you not, having your own families, not want to just take everyone in that's broken or that needs like that mentor, that example? Like how do you not like?
Well,
not,
you know what? Because I got crazy people in my own family that I don't want to take in. You see what I'm saying? I got people that probably didn't want to take me in when I was younger, but you have other people out there that take chances on you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it just depends on what's happening with the energy, but you can't control another person, but you can advocate towards better decisions.
So are there more Brians and Victors in your nonprofit organization?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'd probably take us an hour to sit here and name all the names. Okay. But we mentioned Leonard Adams a lot. Another guy, Keith Lilly. Another guy, Wayne Chaney. Earl Parker. Those are kind of like the seniors of the city that has been on the front lines, since I've been a young guy, and showing us different. Okay. Not showing us the chaos, showing us the coffee. You see what I'm saying?
So all these names that you've mentioned, including yourselves, like how do you navigate your lifestyle? You work, you have another job, and maintain your home life, your relationship with your spouse, and that you're basically everyone is looking at you, right? So you have to maintain not just your persona of like, this is who I am, and I was created for more, so I'm gonna be a leader and I'm gonna lead these boys and these men to be better. How do you keep up your persona so you don't fall in the cracks of like, oh well, I saw you and you're not, you're
who
not
you think you are, right?
You're not who you're saying you are, or you're not who you're portraying to be to these guys that need that example. How are you keeping yourself accountable? Or who keeps
by admitting that I'm not perfect.
Right.
I have a wife at home who will admit that I'm not perfect.
Right.
It's like ladies will wake up and do their hair and don't have nothing to do all day. But they'll put makeup on, do their hair, get right. My wife is an example of that, and it don't make her perfect. It don't make me perfect because I have an organization that, I have partners and we leading dads. Nobody's perfect over here. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. But we can advocate towards being better.
Yeah.
And that's a moment at a time. That's not one.
You don't give up.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. It's just one moment at a time.
Yeah.
Right. And when you get a little older, if you can get that patience, you get a little more wiser faster. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to always rely on elders showing you the way. You can be younger and make better decisions for yourself. And we want to show young dads it's okay. You don't have to impress nobody, but maybe your kids. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Do you look at a lot of dads that, since you say that do the club scene, the rap scene, the partying scene, right? And the big booty hoe thing before their kids, even though they're in the kids' lives, but they still put that part first. What do you say to something like that? Because people say, like, for me, and I think Trina will agree, and all my kids, like, I'm very hard structured.
Right.
Like, I didn't go to bars, I didn't party,
Right.
I've never done a hardcore drug. I've smoked pot, that's it, nothing
right.
else. Because my kids always came first.
Right.
Never really drank. Like, it's always like, we got practice, we got school, we got homework, we got work. Like,
Right.
So I look back and I'll say, well, my kids are a certain way because I led by example, right? I
Right.
wanted to be the mom that I didn't have.
Right.
But I see dads that are like, oh yeah, I bought my kid this and I bought my kid this, but I'm gonna go here and do this. They're not, even though they're there, they're not involved. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. It's like the dad just maybe want to drop off dad.
Drop off.
He drop off a
But
little
you know-
money,
but
but he gone about his way.
Yeah.
You know, but you got like the dope head dad. You got the dope head mom. The mom is very nurturing, right? It doesn't make her not taking care of you. The dope was taking care of her in the streets, but she still found a way to feed you, change your clothes,
right.
get
Yeah.
you.
You
She
think
found a
that's a thing.
shower. She
Yeah.
paid for your electricity. She gave you toilet tissue every day,
And still was dope.
and still
So
dope.
what?
Come
yeah,
on,
so that's what. Yeah,
there is no excuse about what level it is.
Get it done.
They just get it done. That's all it is.
Yeah, 'cause I'm bad. I raised my son, and I guess the village did it with me. I ain't get that boy across that
Without a doubt.
that
Oh yeah,
stage.
you had a lot of help. But I think
You
most,
know what I mean?
most people do.
Right. So with that being said, I mean, I didn't say no to the big booties and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
He was like, "Oh, you said big booties." That
no,
was
no. My point is, my point is that what I did. I can only talk from my experiences. I made, I guess Hollywood, LA, and everybody abide to my son's schedule.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I had the power to do that, but that's how I did it. So, y'all want me to do a casting for Nike? I'll do it on this schedule right here when my son finishes his thing and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, Victor, if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
So my son go to sleep. I'm on the way now. And everything comes down to scheduling to me.
Yeah.
So
But he wasn't affected by it. He didn't see you in and out of the club.
No,
not
no.
coming around.
No, right,
dropping off at grandma's house because you
I'm
had
not
it.
a drop off first. Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's-
I'm choosing him first.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Yeah.
And I think again, what I've been on is authenticity and I would always look at it as integrity, but even beyond integrity is authenticity. And the energy that comes from me, from my authenticity, is I put that against anybody on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's what I use and use for everything.
Well, you have
That's nice.
people watching you, so little ones.
Excuse me. Thank you.
No, without a doubt.
Please.
And then just to get deeper into your question, there's a lot of, dads will walk out the house and they have a different life. They G's, they slanging keys, whatever they doing. Mom's same way, finna go hit the club, finna go hit the spot, finna go do their thing. But what you do under your roof is the most important. And, it has to start there.
Oh,
I
for
know
sure.
some good kids that come from crazy ass parents. And it
Right.
don't make me no different. So,
Mhm.
Do you think that those good kids that come from crazy ass parents love and respect their parents, and they knew that maybe that was the life their parents, that's all they knew, but they just wanted different, right? You just want different, you want better, and some kids want to help their parents, so
definitely.
because they know that. The one thing I don't like is when people say, well, that's an excuse. No, they came from nothing. They came from the projects, nothing. Like, mom could be on drugs, dad's not around, and some of those kids don't have the mindset to even leave the projects ever.
Right.
And I see that, and that breaks my heart. And I know that because that was my ex-boyfriend.
Right.
He came from there, and to him, I'm just going to live day by day. I'm going to make my money for the day. And I didn't understand that. So we were two opposites that collided together.
Right.
And once we got together, then he was like, oh, I got to get my GED because I'm going to have to get a job because she's not going to live this life forever, right? Unfortunately, that ended. But I always use him as an example. Like, he only knew to survive for the day. He didn't know to survive for the week or the month. But then you do have a kid that comes from there and they are just highly intelligent or highly have a drive.
Yeah.
And they come out of that. But not all those kids are the same.
And never.
And some of
nobody-
those kids just need somebody to help pull them out of it.
That's right. It's like you got spoiled kids that grew up with good parents, good households, but they ain't shit.
Yeah, 'cause I,
As
like,
adults.
when y'all said good kids, I was like, I was a school
Yeah.
teacher. I don't know no good kids.
Yeah.
Everybody's
So,
bad.
it depends on who you are. It just depends on who you are.
I always say that teachers should make just as much money as like a fireman because they got to deal with kids
Yeah.
all.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to be, when I was teaching, I was like, you don't even know the kid that you're talking about.
This is not the kid that.
You don't even know this person in my class. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's not the same.
You don't even know this person. I'm telling you right now, you don't know.
Yeah.
They ain't been paying attention.
No.
Because they're with their friends, right?
Right.
And mom's not there looking.
Right.
Dad's not watching.
Well, it's not even that. What I've learned, I've learned to respect children,
Right.
and I've learned to respect that. You know what? I'm an individual myself, and I'm not my mom. I'm not my dad. I'm not my uncle. I'm nobody in that fucking house. You know what I mean? And you know, because one thing that annoys me is when parents say, "Oh, we didn't do that," and then we didn't do that in the back in the day and all that. And when they say that, I'm be like, "Yeah, but they not you."
Yeah. It's a whole different generation.
Right. So
Whole
you want to be
different-
like, your kids got to walk to school because you walk to school? I
Without
don't
a
get
doubt.
it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
really good statement.
Well,
you made.
we used to be able to go to our grandparents' house now because it was the place to go.
Yeah.
There was all your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. We didn't have these friends like we do today, right? So when you got dropped off at grandma and grandpa's because you genuinely went to work, you knew your mom went to work, but then your mom came back. Today, people use grandparents' house.
Yeah.
Watch my kid. I need a weekend away from my kid.
Right.
You're not
a
going
total
there
drop-off.
with you're not
Drop-off
going
house.
there with all your aunts and uncles and
Right.
cousins. How it used to.
I see what you're saying.
right. So the young
You're
kids
going
can
to a
take
babysitter
advantage.
situation
Yes.
before you was at the house and
Yes.
Oh
the
yeah.
Yeah.
popping.
The
Right. I see what you're
grandparents are so
saying.
strong.
Yeah, I never really looked at
On
that.
either side, on my mom's side or my dad's side, when we would go to grandma and grandpa's house, grandma and grandpa didn't spend one-on-one time with us every day, all day long. I mean, we got our one-on-one here and there, but there was so many people. We were playing with everybody, and it was family. Well, today, families
It's a
aren't
professional
like-
babysitter.
Yes, it's
situation.
so different now.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. So I feel like the elders used to kind of have a lot of input on us now.
Yeah.
And now the whole, you can't talk to my kid like that. You can't tell my kid this. You can't that.
Oh, big time.
And now these kids are little wild ass bands.
Well, because the kids know how to see how just now when you did your you was like, you can't talk to my kids like that. Well, they know all the moves. It's like I watched that little girl and that little girl, she go, Linda. It's they know all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So you're talking to a person that's very intelligent.
Right.
It's incredible.
I give all the kids the credit because they have a head start from our generation. They immediately start on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And then if they get to social media, their information system is so overwhelmed.
Oh.
It's like, can you imagine if you knew all this stuff by the time you turn 8 or 9?
All the
Maybe-
historical
I don't think we
facts
could have
that.
handled it back then. though.
No, we couldn't have because a lot of people still lived in a box. Like
Yeah.
the TV told you that this was happening at 6 o'clock. You believe that was
Right.
happening at 6 o'clock.
right.
Well, these kids today are like, wait,
Yeah.
why are we doing that 6? That's not right. The
right.
information that they get now, my son is one of them. He's a huge history major. So he freaking, well, I don't believe this happened or I don't believe that happened.
Same with my young kids.
And they go through it and, we argue with him like, no, that happened. He goes, because they told you it happened.
Right.
You
Right.
believe it
That's
happened.
right.
So it's so different
right.
today. Could
I
you
love
imagine if we had
TikTok?
social media and phones when we were growing up?
Wow.
No.
We would have been in a whole lot of trouble.
Possibly, but we would have also been smarter.
You
We would have
think?
been more intelligent, quicker.
I remember
we had
walking
get
to the
information
library.
from people. See, we had to go through the library, like you said, and then we had to find information from other people if they wanted to tell you that information or not.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go Google, go to Gemini
Get them up.
or where you want to go,
Yeah.
and find information on the fly like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
so I think we would have been smarter. It would have been some things going on, but hey, there's things going on now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But yeah, we would have definitely been a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how many guys, dads, are in your whole thing?
Every dad that take care of their kids. Every single dad that take care of their kids, we commend you and we honor you as a dream dad. That's it and that's all.
And do you guys have do you guys get together? Do you guys
Yes, we do. We have a group. You know, I'm pretty. My circle's pretty small personally, so I don't do too much. You know, according to my personal situation that we talked about earlier. So I don't be around too much a lot. But believe me, I grew up here in the city of Long Beach. Any guy that knows me in the city of Long Beach knows that they are dream dads. We with each other. Every time we see each other, we talk about our kids. They taking care of their kids. And that's it. There's no excuses about that because they know where we come from.
So if there was a young kid, let's say in his 20s, and he had a kid and he's struggling, would he be able to inbox you and say I just need some help, some guidance?
Definitely. And we're going to help whichever way we can. We can't, we're not a Superman, so we can't jump to you and put our cape on. We can't control certain things, but we can always advocate and have a conversation with you and start there. You know what I mean? And see how we can guide you towards another resource that can help you out.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we are. We want to use our particular tunnel and funnel as a resource to help these young men and help these young ladies that need help, you know,
So with Dream Dads, and you just said young ladies, does that include mothers too?
Absolutely.
Oh, it does. It's
Absolutely.
not just dads. It's just people in general.
Yeah, Dream Dads is definitely get a mom's attention, right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Dream Dads, what?
Yeah. There's a
My
lot of
baby
women out there
daddy
that
was
probably
messed
wanted-
up.
yeah.
You know, shit, my daddy wasn't around.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. It was more marketing probably than anything. And like we spoke about how it started, I was marketing, promoting for things that didn't matter. And along came with that was lies and whatever is whatever. I want to be authentic, man. It's not about no money. It's just about being authentic on who you are. So I had to look in the mirror and realize that, damn, I was good at being a dad because I've been there from day one. It comes with experience. You know, I'm perfect, but I know I've been there.
Yeah.
So let me do that.
Yeah.
And I don't need no money doing that. I can go to sleep and I can chill and it's all good doing that.
And how many kids do you have?
3. I have
How
a
many?
27-year-old son named Isaiah. He was born in 97, about to be 28 on May 18th. And happy birthday to him. And he's
Happy
doing
birthday.
amazing. And
He's a Gemini.
yeah, he's an amazing, he's a Taurus, right?
No, he's a Gemini.
Is he? Okay, Isaiah, let me know. And
Isaiah, you're a Gemini.
right. And I was just with him last night. We was out in Vegas. We had our kids, and he does music. He's amazing, man, what he does. He does a lot of things, but I'm proud of my kids. What I learned about my oldest kid is not to put my grown kids on a standard like I was. You know, I wanted him to be rich by the time he was 22 because of what I know. And man, when I tell you he's so ambitious and driving, you know, that's all you can really ask for as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, he's a grown man right now. So
Did you learn that from your first kid? So you learned that after going into the other kids?
No, I learned that from him being a young man and me wanting him to be maybe more grown than maybe grown like I was.
Because I did
You
that
know,
with my daughter. I had her at
yeah.
16, and I feel like I've always pushed.
Right. Absolutely.
And I had to get to a point where I was like, you know what?
It's not,
She's done everything. She went to college on a softball scholarship, got her BA, was working. But to me, I was still like,
push.
yeah. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? She's doing what she's supposed to. Let me back off.
That's right. And those are the coaching abilities that we have to have for our kids. It's personal development on our side and them. So he taught me that opportunities may come his way, but he don't mind going the other way. Guess what? I was young and did the same thing. You know, I'm all right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a learning curve. And, you know, he's not just my DNA. He's his mom's DNA. He's, you know, he come from different places. He got different energies. He didn't come from my struggle. He has his own struggle. You know, so I can't hold him to a standard of, you know, what I think where he should be. No, I have to accept where he is, and I love him for that because he shows me that he wants to keep going and he's ambitious and he's driving. Good. So that gives me enough energy
you
to
just
keep
love him
going
where he's
and
at.
support him.
Right.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Now, if he was on some demon time, some negative stuff, some stuff like, this would be a different conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's trickled down to my 16-year-old daughter who does amazing, and my 15-year-old son.
Right.
And I learned from them. You know, we spoke about the internet. They come up and tell you things, and you'd be like, they challenge
Oh, yeah.
what they may thought was a belief under their roof.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a dad and a mom that's open to all these conversations. So we are here to build our kids in personal development along the way of us learning the same thing. We learning just like y'all learning. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I have a question about your daughter. I saw I was going through your Instagram and
Yeah.
beautiful girl.
Yeah.
I have 3 girls, but would you now where you're at in the season of your life and the place where you're at with your wife, would you want your daughter to marry somebody like you? Where you're at now?
Yeah, where I am. Yeah.
Like
definitely.
how do you encourage or like what are your conversations like so that she strives to, obviously she's going to be an amazing woman,
Yeah.
but how do you like implement to her, or you know, like you're encouraging to all these men and these boys and the people that come to you,
Yeah.
but you have one daughter,
Right.
like how do you
You don't want her to come home with a thug?
yeah, like how do you encourage her to like this is your dad and this is
Right.
and you know, and she's gonna want to love on someone and you want someone to love on her,
Right.
like you.
And that's the trickiest question, man. I have relied on her mom's advice, but from my side, I'm open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
When she was first born, my mindset was ain't nothing happening over here.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I'm super immature on that level.
Okay.
And then as she started to get older, you know, you just realize like, okay, this is a human being,
Mhm.
and she need that real attention from the other side.
Like,
You
do
realize
feel
the
like you have to-
importance.
Yes.
Do you feel like you have to protect her from all like?
Oh, without a doubt.
I
And
mean, obviously
yeah.
she's gonna grow, and
Yeah.
you and your wife are going to like,
Yeah.
you know, cover her in the way that she needs to be. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like she ain't going outside? She's not
No.
going nowhere. Like,
I did at first, but I put her up on game.
okay,
So I'm the dad that put her up on game.
Okay.
She got a mama put up on game. Like, we don't play that. Like in terms of, oh, we're not gonna tell you nothing. No, we talk about everything. So I'm telling her he ain't straight.
Do you watch
He
how
crazy
she
or
dresses?
he might be good. Absolutely. Because
So do you believe in
Yeah.
that? Like it's 2025. Let her wear a thong bikini at the beach. People have to get over it.
at 16?
Yeah.
Nah, I got a machine gun. Nah, we ain't doing all that. I don't want to carry. Yeah. So you got to be safe, dads. We got to be safe
Well,
when we
because
walk
I
out. We
feel
can't
like
have all that.
that is
but-
the dad's role,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
dad has to step in. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my daughter. I am a man. I know what men think.
Yeah, yeah.
My daughter's not walking out of the house like that.
Yeah.
But a
No,
lot
no,
of guys,
Yeah.
they just like. It's
Yeah.
weird today that the way that men think and dads think.
You know what? It's a battle. You know, before my daughter turned 16, I had a lot of men tell me, believe me, I was asking. I got people in my family. Shout out to one of my cousins, Jermaine, man. Jermaine Houston. He had 2 daughters when I didn't have any kids, or when I didn't have a daughter. And I watched him take care of his daughters day in, day out, and 2 of them.
Mhm.
And they are so amazing at what they do right now. And he'll tell you that I asked him, I was like, man, how you do this, man? I got 1. And I don't know, you know, I'm learning how to handle her. You know what I mean? My sons is okay. We can roughhouse them, but this daughter, she protected every single step of the way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as she get older, it's just like, okay, she's showing me she could protect herself a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, we let her talk to a couple guys. You know, these girls gonna talk. They're gonna talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, my baby girl. You know, we gonna talk on the phone. Look at.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder you have a machine gun.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Like,
that.
oh
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay, so is that
You got
your
good genes. That's
who's
my
that
oldest
guy?
son.
That's
That's my
okay.
oldest son, Isaiah, right there.
And how tall is your daughter?
She's 6'2".
Dear Lord.
Might be
What?
6'2" and a half, 6'3".
How tall is your son?
My oldest son is about 6'4", 6'5".
He's
Um,
Isaiah.
That's Isaiah, and my youngest son is 6'7". And,
Wait, how tall are you?
His youngest son is 6'7".
Well, how tall are you, Trina?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'm gonna say that I'm 5'4" and a half, and that
Right.
half
No, I'm
counts.
just
So
kidding.
don't.
Is that right?
I'm
Yeah.
5'7".
It counts.
Oh,
She's
man.
5'7", so I'm the midget of my
right.
dog.
Hey, Y'all the point guards in the house. You know what I'm
He
saying?
said his youngest son is 6'7".
Yeah, yeah. My wife is 6'2".
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah, we have a history of length and tallness.
Hey, you know what? Take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be harder for your daughter to date because she is 6'2"? She has a strong backbone.
Right,
She
right.
comes from a good, solid foundation.
Well, she's showing us, okay, she's showing, I admit this woman, this lady is resilient.
Is she
showing
allowed
me
to date right now?
She has a little, I call it little mini steps. And
She got a mini step.
yeah, she been on the phone and, she handled guys there and we had a guy come to the house last year sometimes to talk to her and chill with her. And believe me, I have to listen to my wife on this side. So,
Okay.
because if it's just me and her, it would never be that.
Oh, yeah.
But I would not know what my daughter's doing either.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that helps me continue to keep the door open for what she wants to do in her life because I really support it.
Yeah.
Did you
So
do
the
like
guys
the
come over.
movie?
They
Where
yes.
what was it, Bad Boys? And he had all his guy friends and they were there
You know
and they
what?
scared the boy.
We started to. We
okay.
had. I remember when a guy came over. I had my guys in the side room, but see, we're a little older
The slider.
and we were a little more mature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was in the man cave. Wanted to clown. We was clowning, but he handled himself. But see, this is the thing. I learned that my daughter's a beast. So
Well, I was gonna say if she's
like,
6'2", her
Yeah.
daddy has to be like 6'7",
yeah,
6'8".
yeah,
right?
yeah. So she ain't taking no mess from
Yeah,
no guy.
She's not just gonna bring
Playing
anybody.
games,
Like, yeah.
without a doubt, without a doubt. So I appreciate her steps so far, and I want to see the growth in that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I told her, you don't settle for nobody at your age right now. Like this
Oh,
ain't,
no.
you know what I mean? I love Romeo and
And
Juliet,
she
but
plays
same
basketball, right?
thing. Yeah, she does. She plays for Long Beach Poly High. So does my son.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. And do they want to go to college?
Definitely, I can't even tell y'all. This is just night and day from how I was when I was a kid. They get straight A's. They might have a B somewhere along the line, but they do amazing at what they do.
But having a solid foundation, and not saying that you and your wife are perfect or the marriage is perfect, because no marriage is perfect, right?
Without a doubt.
But having that solid foundation of knowing dad's, I saw a T-shirt and it said, "Happy Father's Day. My dad brought the milk home or brought the milk back." You know that story, like he left to get the milk and he never comes
That's funny.
back.
Yeah.
And so knowing that they're going to go to bed and dad's there, they're going to wake up and dad's there, mom and dad, right? That's it gives them so much self-esteem,
Yes.
and they're able to have that and go to school and have a solid day, right?
Thank you.
And people don't realize when you fight or there's not a parent around, because you could be divorced and co-parent good, and the kids know that. Like, okay, parents are divorced, but I'm not going to my game, and there's dad and his trifling ass,
Right.
whatever, and there's
That's
mom and her thug
But over
boyfriend.
there.
You could still co-parent healthy,
Right.
but it's also important the fact that you guys did stay together and they have that solid foundation.
Yes, it is a rocky road, regardless of who's in it. Like you just have to be resilient, and I'm telling you, I know I bring my wife up a lot, but I can easily
As you should.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's your queen.
Man, and she showed me how to hold certain adversities down when it's not going the right way and things like
But
that.
isn't that what a
You know
marriage
I
is
mean?
supposed to be?
Yeah.
Isn't it a teamwork?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, she's resilient, man. And I was sitting back like, man, this is how you're supposed to be doing.
So your son goes to Long Beach Poly,
Mhm.
and it's in Long Beach, California. And we all know that it's just San Pedro, Carson, Wilmington, it's all gang affiliated.
Mhm.
He never once wanted to portray that lifestyle or get
No,
involved.
I'm sure he wanted to, but because of his dad, I was going to smash on
Yeah,
any
That-
decision that was headed towards that way.
because
So,
these
yeah.
kids today they're not gang members,
Right.
but they like and I'm gonna say us as Mexicans, like the cholo look, right?
Right.
But they're not gang members, they're
Right.
not thugs, but
Right.
they like the look.
Right.
But then when somebody gangbangs on you or you just got shot because you wanted to portray that.
That's right.
So if your son walked in the house with his pants hanging low,
Right.
and I don't know if they're Bloods or Crips in Long Beach.
No, it's all the Crip City, but
So
you're not
if they walked
walking in
in
my
with
house
the
with your pants low. You're
That's-
not walking in the house. I didn't even let my oldest son's kids walk out with flip-flops on, I was just really tight like that. My youngest son does it, and it bothered me for like 3 years.
Oh.
But
Because it's a whole
We don't like
different
wearing
trend today.
shoes.
yeah, but
We took our shoes off.
I
Yeah,
think because
but-
I'm Native and you're Samoan.
Yeah.
yeah, but I promise I have been a super duper preacher and pastor for my kids when it comes to no follow no man, including your dad. Your dad is not even perfect, and I can show you under the roof.
Mhm.
But that starts that. So when you out in the community, in the streets, you ain't worried about what the gangbanger doing. You ain't worried about what the homeboy doing over here because you your own man. You do you. And then once you start following somebody, you become a buster to me when you walk in my house because I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go find the buster that you're following. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And handle that. Like it's not gonna happen under my roof. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I made sure that with my oldest son, which was the reason I had to make some changes along my personal life to make that happen. Because if you don't, it's easy to get influenced by the streets, like I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you said you gave up basketball when you were, 20?
Yes, I had.
To take care of your kid?
Yes, he was born when I was 20, and I was trying to hold on. I ended up having a short stint overseas in Germany, and I ended up rupturing my Achilles. So when I came back to California, he had issues with housing. You know, his mom was not kind of stable, and I said, you know what, we don't have the grandparent support like that. So I'm gonna do this. Don't even worry about it. So it was an easy decision for me because I started playing basketball later on in life anyway. So it wasn't hard for me to drop the basketball down. It was just hard for me to figure out what I'm gonna do. And after I concentrated on sports and basketball for so long, especially through college, they make you got 2 a days, run up and down the court, practice, study hall, and all this. It was all new to me. But concentrating on it so much, you come back to the neighborhood and just like, man, what I'm gonna do? I didn't really get my education like that. You know what I mean? I used my athleticism to move along the way. And I didn't pay attention to none of them teachers. And damn it, I'm almost 50. I should have paid attention, especially to my orthopedic teacher, my chemistry. The stock market. I had the college, they was there, but I didn't pay attention to them. You know what I mean? And that's what happens along the way.
But your kids are now. And so I feel that everything happens for a reason, and you had to be the man you are because look at the kids you have now.
Yeah.
And don't you want your kids to be better than you were?
Yes.
I always say that. Like, I want my kids. So I tell people, and I think you've heard it when I said it, Trina. It's like, I got 2 BAs.
Yeah.
People are like, you have 2 BAs? I was like, I got 2 BAs right there. Them little kids, those are my BAs. Like,
that's right.
They will always. My daughter, I can never speak highly enough about her. I wish I had half her swag.
Right.
I wish I had half her athleticism.
Right.
Like she would be a hooper. Is that what we said?
Yes.
Right.
She would be. She is a hooper. That she's going to kill me.
Hooper.
She plays basketball, and she's only like 5'3", little white girl.
Right.
And she played basketball and loved it. And she went and played softball. I wish I could be them, but I look at both my kids and just think, you know what, Lord, I may not have had what I wanted or what I thought I needed,
Right.
but that made me who I am to give them what they needed.
Right.
And I feel like that with you also.
You're absolutely right. And it's good to see that. Like, it makes you just happy inside.
It
You know what I mean? Like,
does.
it's all, that's worth living. Money can't do that. You know what I mean? Only time and experience with your kid and seeing them like reflect off their brilliance off what you've raised. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
Like, you get to see the mothers that your daughters are because of you now. Like, she has grandbabies. My kids are selfish.
Yeah.
I don't have.
3.
I have 2 step grandkids. I haven't had a grandkid
They're your
from birth.
grandkids.
They are, but not from birth. So you've had your daughters, and you're a grandma now. And I tell her my kids are selfish, but she gets to see the mother they are because of the mother she is. And then Trina's mom, the grandma, like, she gets to see all that too.
Right.
But I don't know how much time there is, but I wanted to piggyback off of even what you said and what you had mentioned, where you said, like, you said I'm talking about my wife, or I've mentioned my wife a lot. I think that's very commendable because there's, like you had mentioned a while back, that like there's some men down there at work where they're like, oh, she's at home, whatever, no respect, right? But I think especially in the with the nonprofit, the DreamDads, they'll see and hear you, right? Yeah. Speaking so highly of your spouse, your queen, your teammate, your soulmate. You know what I mean? So it's like that's something that other men need to be encouraged. Like, it's okay. That doesn't mean you're soft. That doesn't mean you're weak.
Oh, no, what
That
about
means that you have love and respect for the woman that you are doing life with,
That's right.
you know, and that's one. So keep talking about your
Well,
queen.
thank you.
That's
you very
great.
much. As I will.
And two, with the industry that you're in, because you guys are in the same industry,
Right.
does it ever, or do you ever, like, is it something that you're like, okay, this is what I do, this is where I work?
Yeah.
Are your kids like, that's what I want to do?
No.
I want to, okay.
No, I tell them,
Okay.
don't follow. Look, you know, if that's something they want to do, they
Okay.
know that the opportunity is there through conversations that we have all the time. But I want them to be better than
Right.
I was, man.
Right.
I want y'all to be, you know, it's not a money thing, but I do want you to be trillionaires. I
Right,
just
right.
want you to be
Not blue collar workers like
I
us,
want you to
huh?
be highly creative. You know,
Yeah.
there's something about that is blue collar, white collar, green collar. I have been allowed to see my kids every single day.
Amen.
I'm telling you, it's a super blessing.
We are blessed.
Dropping them off at school, picking them up, their extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
From day one, especially my youngest kids, because I wasn't chasing money so much with my oldest kid. He'll be in the house with me, and we there and we stand, but then he on the PlayStation all the time, and I'm over here, and you know, we on a different path. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm in the house, I can pay attention to every single aspect of what my kids is doing.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do that for 15, 16 years with them. And that was a goal for me.
Yeah.
That was like part of my retirement plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now that they're at where they're at, I'm just very appreciative. So I wouldn't change it for nothing. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
What I do?
Please tell your friend that. I know he had to run out real quick.
Oh, man, shout out to Vic Battle. He had
Yeah,
his kids. He's a real dream dad, y'all. He had his kids
Nice,
downstairs.
yeah.
He came in
did.
for a minute, and he's about to go fulfill his obligations over with Hoops After Dark.
Yeah.
So shout out
So
to
he
Hoops
can-
After Dark with
yes.
Leonard Adams, Earl McCullough, and the rest of the
Everything
crew.
you guys are
They ain't
doing
doing anything over there.
is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
just when we've texted and then Tom told me about you, like it's really good to know that there's still really good men out there, dads that are super, super involved.
Oh, yeah.
I seen it a lot in baseball and somewhat of it in football. But to be reminded that it's okay to be a good dad. It's okay that if
Yes.
you and your girl don't work out for whatever reason, that child shouldn't be punished for it, or she shouldn't be punished for it.
That's right.
You could still be a good dad.
That's right.
But
And,
thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
saying that. Thank you
You know,
very
and
much.
continue doing what you're doing. We hope you guys come back on.
Your BAs are amazing.
My BAs are amazing. Oh, my BAs. Yeah, I got two BAs. I got one in women's health and
Okay.
oh crap, child psychology. Well, actually, and I got an AA in history.
That's dope. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Brian.
Definitely. Thank you.
We have our TikTok, our Instagram, YouTube. Please like and subscribe, share, follow, do all those fun things. And until next time, thank you. Bye.